What is up, guys? It is your boy Royal Mac, and we are back again with another deck list. This one is what I promised you, my updated deck list for Chronojet. Once again, this is my undefeated list. I am really happy with this build. I don't think I'm changing it anytime soon, but we will see what set 6 provides, because set 5 doesn't have anything for us. So let's go into the deck list and see what we got for you today, and so you can see what I got for you today. First up, we do have the normal ride line. So Chronojet with the ability of on ride, draw 1. Second, then we go into our Mazer gear. It has the ability when this unit is placed by riding on top of a Chronojet, draw a card and get our energy, and then get our crest. Third, we go, then our grade 2 for the ride line is Smoke gear. It has the ability Soul Blast 1 when rode on by a Chronojet to search my deck for a grade 3 and add it to hand. And then lastly, we go into Chronojet. He has 2 abilities. His GB2 skill is when this unit attacks, your opponent cannot guard with grade 1s or higher, and he gains plus 5k. Really great skill. He then has the On Stride skill, that meaning when he's strode upon, you counterblast 1 and can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. That stride skill is optional. That On Stride skill is optional. Then let's go into the crest. The Chronojet crest, it has a couple abilities. The first one is you are locked in to only riding Chronojet Dragon. You then have the ability of the original attack of your Chronojet Dragon will become 13 for the rest of the game. You then have the skill of for every face-up card in your G-Zone, all your front row units gain plus 5k. And then lastly, at the start of your battle, you may change the grade of one of your grade 3 rear guards to grade 0. Why is it important? Because it works in tandem with a couple of our cards in our G-Zone. Speaking of our G-Zone, we run 4 copies of Fate Rider Dragon. Now, Fate Rider Dragon has the ability of when this unit attacks, counterblast 1, flip up a card in your G-Zone, and then you get to choose a rear guard, put it to the bottom of your deck, and call a card that is a grade higher. Then you get to choose one of your units and give it 5k for every face-up card in the G-Zone. Really good, strong start. This is our first stride. We don't really change from this. This is always going to be our first stride. Unless the reveals for Chronos Command change that, this will always be your first stride for this deck. Next, we go into our powerhouse of a stride, into Chrono Dragon next stage. Chrono Dragon next stage requirement is to stride into him, I must discard a Chronojet Dragon. It then has the ability at the end of the battle it attacked. You discard 2 cards from your hand to then stride down back into a Chronojet and stand. And this goes in the G-Zone. Thus meaning you get an additional card. Now your Chronojet can attack, and then with effect of its GB2, that next attack is heavily pressured because your opponent can't guard. Really great card. You will flip this up for Fate Rider a lot of times. You don't really use it for anything. You really only use it twice. But Fate Rider, you're going to use a bunch of times during the game. On to the grade 3s for the main deck. We run 2 copies of Chronojet Dragon. Really good, because we do need to discard this. So 2 is enough for cost. Next up, we play 2 copies of Funeral Dragon Nocturcio. It has the ability, on play, when it's played through the rearguard circle, you can counterblast 1, reveal a grade 4, or have a grade 4 Vanguard to draw a card, and then choose 2 cards from your trash, add them to Soul. Really good ability. We appreciate that. A lot of times, I actually forget that effect exists. It has the other ability, when played on Guardian Circle, if you have a grade 4, if you reveal a grade 4 in hand or have a grade 4 Vanguard, this is a 15k shield. We don't get to use that part. But we do get to share the final ability with everybody in Dark States. When this card is discarded for Ride Deck or the cost of Stride, you get to draw 1 card. This is the ability we will always use. We primarily use this as our target for searching if we already have Chronojet in hand. Then, last of our grade 3s, 1 copy of Bracing Angel Ladder. It has the ability, add to soul, draw 1 card, your Vanguard gets +5, and then until the end of your opponent's turn, none of your rear guards can be affected by your opponent's card effects. Really strong card. Really helpful in the Shiranui matchup as well as in the Seraph Snow matchup. Next up, into grade 2s, we play 4 copies of Tizcar. Tizcar is the energy cycler. We do run her here because it's just extra draw. When you do it on turn 2 and you went second, 3 cards in hand, can't be beat. It does have the cost to draw off of being used for a discard or being used for guarding of the cost of 3 energy. Now it does have an ability of on play, I can counterblast 1 or pay 3 energy to give this unit boost in 5k. We will never do that because we don't Persona Ride in this deck. So this is primarily just extra shield value. Really good. You will always want to play it at 4 because we do have cards that require us to have paid 3 energy in the turn to use other skills. Next up, we play 4 copies of Upstream Dragon. This is our main attacker, especially during the our main attacker on the stride turns. It has the ability of GB1. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may add 5k to it, and then at the end of the battle, you may put it to the bottom of your deck to call a grade 1 unit from the deck, put it into, and go ahead and put it into your call it to rear guard in stand position. Really good. Working with Fate Rider, this just loops attacks. And you usually want to have his first attack boosted just to gain more benefits from the fight later. Next in our grade 2s, we do run 3 copies of Forward. It has the ability on play, so as long as it's not placed during battle, Soul Charge 1, it gains +5, and then you may choose to use pay a counterblast, choose one of the following effects, which is either call a card from Soul, or retire one of your opponent's grade 2 or greater rears. Really good, especially because it assists with the board control as well as spawning more of a board, especially with cards like Gigi, where if this gets Gigi from the Soul, Gigi's effect will trigger. And then last but not least, on my grade 2s, I won 1 copy of Gear Goat of Aperture Leaky. It has the ability, when this unit attacks, if my Vanguard is a Gear Dragon, which is the entire line except Dran, Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets +5k until the end of that battle. So it goes from a 10 to a 15. It then has the ability at the end of battle, put this, at this attack, if I have a Gear Dragon Vanguard, which I always will have, I will pay 3 energy, put this to the bottom of my deck to draw a card. Then I may choose a card from my bind zone or on my rearguard circle, put it to the bottom. Really good, really strong. I appreciate this one all day because it just helps me keep track and control my resources. Now we go into grade 1s. We play the typical 3 PG, 1 Sanctitude package. This will never change. Then we play 4 copies of Clockwise. Clockwise is the generic dragon that came out of Festival for those of you who are new. It has the ability on play, Soul Charge 1, as long as you and your opponent's Vanguard are of equal grade, or your Vanguard is of a lesser grade, to give it +2. Sorry. And give it +2. It then has the drop and rearguard ability that when you've discarded a card from hand, you may pay 3 energy to remove this card from the game and bounce that discarded card back to hand. Is really good working with Nocturcio to keep link cycling those. And this is like literally your best discard target next to Tizcar for riding with this deck. After that, we run 3 copies of Folklore. It has the ability when played from hand, give us we gain an energy, but then it also has the ability at the end of the battle during this turn, if you paid 3 energy or more this turn, it gains the ability of, at the end of the boosted attack, it does retire it to draw 1. Really good. It just keeps thinning the deck, and we enjoy drawing cards. This is one of the targets I usually use for upstream instead of using GGs, because sometimes we don't need that additional power during mid combo. Next up, I play 3 copies of Gigi. She has the ability, when placed on rearguard circle, while you have a Chronojet crest, which you'll always have, you Soul Blast 2 to draw a card. Now, if Gigi was played through an effect, she gains an additional 5, making her a 13k attacker or booster. Primarily, she will always be a 13k booster because you call her primarily through back row from upstream. Next up, we play 1 copy of Steam Breath Dragon. It has the ability from hand, when used for the cost of stride, it's considered a grade 3. As well as it has the other ability from hand, you may discard it to search your deck and or trash and or drop zone for a copy of Chronojet Dragon. Really good. This just makes sure we have Chronojet in hand somehow. Now, on to the last 2 grade 1s. The first one is Zargon. It has the ability, when this unit boosts, give the boosted unit the effect of adding 2 cards to Soul. On hit, choose 2 cards from your trash, add them to Soul. Really good. This just helps us being able to have resources to make use of cards like GG, but it's also there because just add more pressure to the Vanguard swing, because this way now they have to guarantee to stop it because they don't want you having resource. And then last but not least, we play 1 copy of Cat. Cat's ability, when played on rear, choose 2 cards from your Soul or your drop, put them back in the right deck to countercharge. But if you play it from the Guardian Circle, you gain 15k shield instead. Now, on to the zeros. We play 8 crit, 3 front triggers, 4 regular, just 4 heals. And then last but not least, we play Purple OT. Now, Purple OT has probably one of the better abilities to work in tandem with G break decks, with the G zone decks. It has the ability, when triggered, choose up to 1 of your cards in your damage zone, put it to hand. Then you may call a card from hand to rear guard, and it will get plus 10k till the end of that turn. Really good card, especially when you hit it through combo, while you're in the middle of your Fate Rider swings, because this just will shock people, because this technically is a heal trigger that will always go off when it's triggered on the offensive side. And who doesn't like a heal trigger? And that's actually been the deck. Guys. Purple OT does definitely put a lot of pressure, which I appreciate, and I would not use it any other way. This is really fun. I do hope that Chronos Command and the Glimmer Breath are really good to the point they become a staple for this deck, being that they all are also for the deck. I don't think they really would need to add anything else unless they want to start allowing us to use G-era cards for Jet, using G-era cards for G-zone decks, and primarily only the units, not the Guardians, which would actually kind of be fun. But that's neither here nor there. Please, guys, if you did like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you are too important to the world. You are important to me. You are important to somebody. Don't forget to share your love with your family members on this lovely holiday season. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace.